Buenos días a todos. Con ustedes el entrenador de Filadelfia, Curtin, y el jugador Julián Carranza. Por favor, primera pregunta. Nombre y medio. Adelante, por favor.
Good morning, Coach.
Hello.
Case Gomez here for ESPN. There is a lot of talking here in Costa Rica that your team. Sorry, Case Gomez here for ESPN. There is a lot of talking here in Costa Rica that your team hasn't had competed in games so far because you are in pro season. What do you think about that? Could be this an advantage for Saprissa tomorrow? Thank you.
It's a great question. The first thing I'd like to do is thank the people of Costa Rica for welcoming us. We've been taken care of in an incredible way. Beautiful people, friendly people. To come and play against this historic club in Saprissa is something that we look very much forward to, but we also respect this club a great deal. For me, it's the biggest club in Costa Rica. It's one that we have a little bit of history with, having played in the Champions Cup before. But your question is a great one. There's always concerns as a coach going into your first real game, right? So Saprissa has been in a good run of form in the league, has 7 games under their belt, and is a little bit more fit than us. That's natural. We've worked very hard in the preseason to try to get to a good fitness level. We had very good performances in our preseason games. But as we all know, coming to this stadium is something different than a preseason game where there are no fans. The intensity is good, but it's never the real intensity that it takes for Champions Cup. So it's always a concern as a coach. We recognize the first 15 minutes is very critical. We know Saprissa will throw a lot at us. We have to be brave and we have to be calm and not make mistakes in the early going. Otherwise, you make it very difficult on yourself.
Thank you very much, Coach. Julián, hace poco viniste a este equipo, venís del Inter Miami, si bien es cierto, pero podríamos decir que el activo más importante que ustedes tienen es el proceso con Jim, porque prácticamente estaba viendo que suma más de 6 años con él como entrenador. Muchas gracias.
Sí, bueno, creo que los últimos años que he estado con Phil y con Jim, con este equipo, hemos hecho grandes cosas, hemos competido al máximo nivel, hemos llegado a semifinales de muchas competiciones. Y nada, disfruto mucho trabajar con él, con el equipo. Y nada, para este tipo de partidos hay que estar preparados de la mejor manera. Así que nada, venimos a intentar ganar este partido y a no dejar nada que perder.
Hello, Mr. Carter. I'm Stefan Mogue from Repretel.
Hello.
In all of this series, what difference have you seen in Saprissa?
Look, Saprissa is a team that we're very familiar with the players and the personnel, right? There's a lot of MLS experience in their group. It's players that I've prepared for several times in the past. Players like Mora, Segura, Diaz with his pace and speed. With that now, too, they have a player in Torres that, for me, is one of the top players in CONCACAF and has been for many years with his passing and his ability to play a final ball. 36 years old, but still can control the tempo of a game. So we have a great respect for their players, a lot of familiarity with their team. I could go through each name and say there's 7, 8 guys that have played in MLS at a very high level and have done a good job. So we respect them a great deal, but we don't fear anybody. That has to be our mindset and our mentality. We know we have a good team too. And we know that this game is the first leg, right? I always say the tie can be lost in the first leg. It can't be won. So we have to be very intelligent with how we approach the game, very disciplined, because the opponent can really hurt you. And I've been in this stadium before when it goes crazy early. As an example, back when I was in my Chicago days, we had an early red card, and it becomes, I'll just say, very, very difficult to play once the crowd gets going, and there's no stopping that momentum. So we'll be smart in how we approach the game, respectful, but also brave.
Julián, buenos días. ¿Qué referencia tenés de Mariano Torres? Sabemos que también es argentino, lo tenés bien referenciado en tu radar.
Bueno, buenos días. Sí, la verdad he escuchado mucho de él. Obviamente hemos visto video y es claramente un gran jugador, un jugador con experiencia que sigue demostrando que no importa la edad, pero sigue jugando un fútbol de muy buena calidad. Así que nada, trataremos de que no juegue mucho mañana, trataremos de cortarle los espacios y que no pueda hacer mucho.
I'll just add, all Argentines are good players and they're everywhere.
Hi, coach. Hola. Ahí. Sí. Hi, Ricardo Cordero for Teletica Radio. For you, what is the best thing for your team, Philadelphia Union? And then, what do you expect from this trip series against Saprissa?
Yeah, our club through the years has proven to be a team that is comfortable not having the ball. We're okay if Saprissa has a lot of possession, and we actually expect that. Where we're very good is in the transition. So how quickly can we go from defense to attack and attack to defense? Both are very, very important phases of the game. The beautiful thing about this sport is there's a million different ways to do it, and I'm not here to tell you which one is the correct way. But we do it our way. It's unique. It's unique to our city. It's unique to our club, and we're proud of it. We also have a great group of young players and young talent. We also have a great group of veterans that have been through these types of games at a high level in CONCACAF, both with their national team and with their club team. So that experience is something you have to, I'll just say, lean on heavily in these types of games and in these atmospheres. Look, Saprissa is a team, again, that can hurt you a lot of different ways. We have to be almost perfect and disciplined in our approach. So it's going to be a tough task, like I've said.
Hola, Julián. Buenos días.
Ya.
¿Qué tanto piensa que les puede afectar el no estar en ritmo de competencia esta serie entre el Saprissa?
Bueno, sí, creo que es algo complicado, como dijo el técnico en la pregunta pasada. Pero bueno, también nosotros venimos compitiendo amistosos de pretemporada, con buenos equipos, lo hicimos a un nivel muy alto. Así que sí, es nuestro primer partido oficial, pero creo que ya hemos jugado partido de alto nivel, alta intensidad y creo que estamos en buena forma, en buena manera, pero bueno, eh, empezar y competir en este tipo de competencias es diferente, así que nada, esperamos estar a la altura de eso y poder sacar un buen resultado.
Hola Julián, un gusto saludarte. Anthony
Buen
Costas
día.
de... Ya. En los últimos años, el fútbol de Estados Unidos, de México, eh, se impone ante el fútbol de Centroamérica, por ejemplo, ante nosotros. ¿Sentís que son favoritos, que por todo lo que tienen, tienen más que nosotros? ¿Cómo analizás esa variedad? Y lo otro, el estadio. ¿Saben algo, digamos, de cómo se juega acá, de la presión que mete el público y demás?
Bueno, aquí creo que en esta competición esto es fútbol, nadie es favorito. Cualquier equipo puede ganarle a cualquiera. No siento que somos favoritos, no siento que ningún equipo de Estados Unidos o México es favorito. Como te dije, fútbol y todo puede pasar. Si tienes un equipo bueno que compita bien, que sabe lo que hace, siempre va a ser difícil ganar. Así que no creo que haya algunos equipos favoritos en esta competición. Y nada, he escuchado mucho sobre la hinchada de este equipo. Bueno, yo vengo de Argentina y sé lo que es jugar con grandes hinchadas, así que va a ser bueno, va a estar lindo recordar los viejos tiempos. Y nada, cuando estemos en el campo de juego, solamente enfocarse en lo que es el partido y lo que pasa afuera es solamente algo extra.
Hi, coach. Jose Rios, YashinQuesada.com. In the history, only two clubs for MLS win in the Saprissa Stadium, Columbus and Philadelphia. What did you think about this?
Well, it's an honor to be one of those teams, but I'm also smart enough to recognize when we won in this stadium, it was COVID and it was empty. So it will be a totally different animal tomorrow. So again, yes, that was a great achievement on that day. I believe 1-0 and Vizo good cross to Casper. I can picture it right now, but I also recognize this is a new test, new players, new groups of teams for Saprissa, new players for the Philadelphia Union. And when the opening whistle goes, this 90 minutes is basically halftime. So we have to set ourselves up in a good way to go back to Philadelphia. It's an important goal of ours to not concede, right? Because away goals are very big. So be very strong defensively and try to score one on the counter and then protect our home in Philadelphia.
Y para Julián también buenos días sobre
Buen
eso
día.
mismo. En los últimos años incluso ha venido el Galaxy, ha venido Sporting, ha venido Montreal, ha venido Portland, ha venido muchos equipos de la MLS y no han podido ganar. En toda la historia solamente dos. Estados Unidos, la selección también vino y ni siquiera ha sacado un empate en el Saprissa. ¿Se han hablado de esto? ¿Les pareciera que creen ustedes que también les tocó como la llave más pareja entre Filadelfia y Saprissa en esos 16avos? Gracias.
Para ser honesto contigo, no hemos hablado de eso. Bueno, me acabo de enterar que solamente han ganado 2 equipos de la MLS aquí. Pero bueno, como dije antes, esto es fútbol. Todo se define dentro de la cancha. Va a ser un ambiente muy lindo el de mañana. Y vamos a enfocarnos en ganar, que es lo que queremos. Y si no podemos ganar, sacar un buen resultado eh, para esperar el segundo partido en Philly y poder sacar un buen resultado ahí. Pero bueno, como te dije, esto es fútbol. Lo que pasa afuera es extra y solamente nos vamos a enfocar en ganar el partido.
Right here. Hi, coach.
Hello.
Jose Ramirez, Tico Sports. Away goals is a tiebreaker on how to handle this aspect for the total of series.
It's a challenge. You have to be very smart in how you approach the game because, like I said, it can't be won in the first leg, but it can be lost. So you have to be very disciplined and recognize that this will be halftime, like I mentioned. We do know at home, similar to Saprissa, our home field advantage is a very good one. I think in our last 65 games there, we've been beaten 3 times. So we are very good at home. The challenge, though, is to set yourself up for that second leg. It is an advantage to have the second game at home, I believe, but you also have to be very cautious with the approach in the first 90 minutes. So again, discipline is very important. Matching the intensity of Saprissa from minute 1, which is the job of the strikers. For me, it's our first line of defense is our strikers, and the guy sitting to my right does it as good as anybody in MLS. So we look forward to the challenge. Again, it's one that we know will be difficult, but we need to be brave.
Jonathan Tannewald.
Thanks, Erica. Hi, Jim. Jonathan from the Philadelphia Inquirer here. It's quite a suit. Everybody's already talking about it online while this is going on. You're welcome to talk about where you got it from if you'd like. But on a more serious note, you mentioned a few minutes ago, whether your team is ready, and I was hoping you'd expand on whether you think the team is ready to play a competitive game now and go straight into it in this thing with as short as the offseason has been. And Julian, you're certainly welcome to answer that too. Thanks.
Yeah, first part, it's Commonwealth proper. Craig Schroeder, a Philadelphia Union fan, soccer fan, and overall great guy, and has an incredible company. So fortunate enough he can make me look good. He can make anybody look good. So that's the message there. I would say that, look, Jonathan, the approach in the preseason is the same as always, right? We put our work in. The guys physically are in a really good spot. You always still have concern going into your first 90 minutes, though, with getting that intensity just right. So we have to have an approach that is disciplined, is intelligent, but also recognize the reality is it's our first test, it's our first game. So as we get later into the game and the fatigue starts to set in, can we keep our concentration? Can we maybe make a change a little earlier than we would to get fresh legs on the field? Every guy has to be willing to do their job for 90 minutes. Some will be called upon for 60 minutes. Some will be called upon to close the game out for 1 minute, but every guy has to execute. And you really have to eliminate mistakes in the Champions Cup competition.
Roberto Vinces.
By the way, he forgot my suit.
Roberto.
Okay. Hi, good morning, Jim. Buenos días, Julián. Roberto Vinces from WFMZ TV here. Jim, I was wondering if you can just highlight or you can give me some takeaways from the preseason leading up to tomorrow's match against Saprissa. Y Julián, si me puedes dar el aspecto táctico, estratégico que consideras clave para lograr un buen resultado mañana. Gracias.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, we've had really good performances from guys, and I think we've been in a good spot with our results in preseason. If I was to, I don't like to single out individuals, but in each line, we've had, Damian Lowe take a big step, I think, as a central defender. Quinn Sullivan's had a great preseason and has really emerged as a good two-way player for us. And the guy to my right, Julian, has been himself and has been hitting the back of the net. So overall, the team's worked very hard. I like where we're at physically, fitness-wise. Obviously lost Leon Flock, which is always difficult, but injuries are a part of the game and it's an opportunity for others to step up. So a quicker way to answer it, I like where the group is at and I really look forward to our first test.
Bueno, de mi parte me gustaría decirte cómo vamos a salir a buscar el partido mañana, pero si te digo me van a matar, así que especialmente que está al lado mío, así que no, me lo dejo para mí y para el equipo, así que nada, eso.
Cerramos la conferencia de prensa. Muchas gracias a todos.
Gracias.
Thank you, guys. Thank